What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Leo coming to you guys with yet another video. So, I know you guys haven't seen me in a couple of weeks at this point. I have been taking a mental break. I've been kind of going through some things in my personal life, and I kind of just want to take a step back and everything like that. It's nothing against anybody, stuff like that. I've been really trying to come back, but I wanted to be in the best space mentally before I do come back, and because I don't want things happen in my personal life that interfere with what I'm trying to do over here on YouTube. So I just took a step back for a couple of days to kind of just rethink a lot of things and just come back with a fresh mindset and stuff like that. So I am back nonetheless, but I'm coming to you guys today with my Survivor Series prediction. Survivor Series is this Saturday, mind you, and it's crazy to think that Survivor Series has 5 matches, which is cool. But on top of that, it's taking place at a different starting time. Now, usually, a lot of times with Survivor Series, it takes place at like what 7 p.m. if you're like on Central Standard Time and stuff like that, or if you're in a different part of the world, it might be like 8 p.m. or something like that, depending on what time zone you're in. But it's taking place at literally 5 p.m. my time, literally 5 p.m. Literally, I think the kickoff show starts, and at 6 p.m. I think the actual main card starts. So with everything like that. But I'm gonna give you guys my predictions and what I think is gonna happen in these matches, and ultimately who do I think wins these matches and what it could potentially mean for the future of the WWE going forward. So like I said, we have 5 matches, so we're gonna get into it with the first match for the United States Championship. We have LA Knight defending the US Championship against the returning Shinsuke Nakamura. Now this feud has just really started, mind you, right? This feud has only been going on for 2 weeks. Honestly, and might be just my biggest gripe with the match, I do think the match is going to be solid because I do think LA Knight is capable of putting on a good match. And we know Shinsuke, if motivated and given the right booking and creative, he can give you a great match. Look at all the stuff that he's done in NXT and the stuff that he's been able to do somewhat on the main roster. I know it's been kind of a different regime, so to speak, but he is still capable of giving you a good match. But my problem with this is it's rushed. The match is rushed. This feud has been rushed, honestly. I feel like if you would have just kept this feud going for a couple more weeks, I feel like you could have saved this for Saturday Night Main Event if you want this to be one of your matches on the card. And the fact that we're getting it like literally 2 weeks after it literally started on Survivor Series. I mean, I understand that they want to make it 5 matches on this card, but if it doesn't need to be, it does not need to be. Like, this match does not need to be on the card, but I do think it's gonna be a okay match nonetheless. Who do I think is gonna win? Now, this is something that's been kind of going back in my head, right? LA Knight is good when he's chasing the title. We've seen him chase the title when LA Knight was trying to go up against Logan Paul, who was the current U.S. champion at the time. His rise to that getting that moment was really good. They built it up. They got you intrigued to see him chase that title and potentially win. And I understand Shinsuke has just came back, and I think you want to establish him as a big deal. I can see them putting the U.S. Championship on him. I really can. I can see them putting the U.S. Championship on Shinsuke Nakamura and him possibly holding it for a couple months, and you can have LA Knight have the chase once again, going after the U.S. Championship and potentially winning it back at some point. Now, on top of that, when I was looking at the U.S. Championship and then I was going through it and I was just kind of, just giving you my little mini rant about how it felt rushed, the feud, you really could have made this a fatal 5-way if you wanted to. You could have still had Andrade in the mix. You could have Santos in the mix. You could have had Carmelo in the mix as well. And because all 3 of those guys have been circled around the U.S. Championship and has been facing LA Knight in numerous weeks. To try to get that championship of him, you could have added Shinsuke making his return and made a fatal 5-way, which would have been a very intriguing scenario because you could have a scenario where LA Knight could lose the championship but does not get pinned in the decision to lose, and you could still have that one rematch at some point. But nonetheless, I do think could see Shinsuke winning. But however, I'm gonna say LA Knight will retain the U.S. Championship. On to the next match that we're going to be talking about here, which will be the first of 2 War Games matches. We have the Women's War Games match. On one side, we have Liv Morgan, the Women's World Champion. We have Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, the WWE Women's Champion. Miss Money in the Bank. It's Tiffany time. Tiffany Stratton, Candice LeRae. And on the other side, we have Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io, and Bayley. Now, it was originally Jade Cargill, but she was taken out just last week, and it's gonna be a story of who done it, who took her out, and stuff like that. But now you have Bayley in the mix as well, and now this is gonna be a very interesting match because there's a lot of key factors that can be the downfall of both teams, honestly. If we're being honest, now both teams have something, some type of bad blood, no pun intended, going on within their teams. The reason why I say that, because think about it. If you look on the babyface side of stuff, right? Bianca does not like Bayley after everything that they've been through with the whole damage control stuff, and you still have Io there as well, who got kicked out by Io and stuff like that. So there's history there, and you still have literally Bianca and literally Rhea. They've been kind of teasing some type of turmoil and stuff like that. And who was to wonder if that is going to come into play? If we're going to find out who actually took out Jade Cargill, what is one of the women that took her out in this match. I know a lot of people have been saying Bianca could have done it. A lot of people can say Naomi could have done it. And a lot of people can say Bayley has done it, could have done it as well. So there is a lot of key factors that it could come into play here. But we also can't shy away from the heel side too. Because if you're being honest, we kind of been teasing some stuff with Candice and Tiffany, where Candice has been coming out of the windward and trying to befriend Nia Jax, and Nia Jax has been kind of going all in with it, and it's been making Tiffany Stratton feel some type of way, like she's feeling slighted a little bit, like they don't need her anymore. But then on top of that, you still have the underlying story of potentially Tiffany cashing in for one of those championships because both world champions are on the same team. You have Liv and you have Nia. We had the same situation when they were facing each other at Crown Jewel a couple weeks ago, and then you had Tiffany could potentially cash in on one of the other. You could see a situation where when this match is going on that she might try to cash in because both of her teammates are down and they could be in a prime position to lose their championship because you still have that story there. So it really comes to play which story are they going to try to tell in this match. Now, honestly, if we're going to see a cash in, I do see it probably being on Nia Jax. I'm just going to be honest. I don't see it being on Liv Morgan because a lot of the stuff that I've been seeing is, Liv Morgan holding this championship for a little bit longer. Now, who do I think is going to win, right? It really just comes down to this. And I also been doing a little bit of fact checking as well, trying to come up with different facts for you guys and stuff like fun facts, so to speak. Here's the thing. Since we've had a women's War Games match on the main roster, the babyface team has won time and time again. Last year, we seen, I believe it was a babyface with Becky in it, and her team won and stuff like that. So we've been seeing a lot of the babyface teams win these War Games matches over the last few years. And if you look at the babyface team now, all of them are former women's champions. If you want to be honest, we got Naomi, a former SmackDown Women's Champion. We have Io, a former WWE Women's Champion. We have Rhea Ripley, former Women's World Champion and SmackDown Women's Champion in her own right. You have Bayley, a former Raw Women's Champion, SmackDown Women's Champion as well. And she's also won the WWE Women's Championship and won the Royal Rumble. We also have Bianca Belair, who's won the Raw Women's Championship, the SmackDown Women's Championship, and the WWE Women's Championship as well, and won the Royal Rumble. So you've had a lot of these people who have been built up to be something special, right? But on the other side, you don't really have that type of star power just yet. Now, in my personal opinion, I think you can give the heels the win to get momentum behind them. So more people can be invested in what they're doing because now it seems like when they have the heels win, you're starting to see the tides turn in the sense of new stars potentially being made. And honestly, I think with the babyface team, it looks like it's very well stacked, right? It's very, very stacked. It seems like everybody is a dominant presence in their own right. We have Rhea, who's very dominant, has been very protected. Same thing can be said for Bianca as well. Both of them are pretty much the most protected women in the entire division. So, in that regard, you would think that you would have those two mega powers, you know, pretty much get the win. But at the same time, mega powers like that sometimes can clash. And I think it probably will in some way, in shape, or form. And I think it'll be the downfall. So my prediction, who is going to win this? I'm gonna say Team Liv is going to get the win here. I really do. I really think Team Liv is going to get the win here. I know a lot of people have been saying Babyface Team are probably gonna win it, but I'm gonna probably be the only one out on this one, like I always am. And I'm gonna say Team Liv gets the win. On to the next match that we're going to be talking about is for the Intercontinental Championship. We have Braun Breaker defending the championship in a triple threat match against Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. Now, this match is really going to be good. This is really going to be good because we already know Braun Breaker and Sheamus put up a great match on Raw a couple weeks ago, even though it was pre-taped. And we know Ludwig Kaiser has been pretty much on a run of his own, and at the same time, he has no love lost with Sheamus, with their feuds and stuff like that. And I think adding them into the mix for the IC title is a great thing because it's really starting to show that they're trying to push him, which I think is something that they need to start trying to do. I think they've made it very clear that they have big plans for him. And I can see a situation where they maybe want to put the IC title on Ludwig Kaiser in a situation like this, to where Braun Breaker doesn't necessarily have to lose. And I feel like the Intercontinental Championship doesn't necessarily need to be like the World Championships. It's okay to hop and tail the title here and there. It's okay to do that. It's not the world title where you don't where it needs to be legitimized, or whoever's holding it. But the IC title could be very well different than that. I feel like the mid card titles could serve as like titles that can pretty much move around almost. Well, I wouldn't say like frequently, because people are going to start to think, oh, maybe like every week. No, you can do this like maybe every few pay-per-views, every two pay-per-views or something like that. You can do something like that. I'm not opposed to it. And I think the IC title can be the same thing for the men, and stuff like that. But who I think is going to win, I'm going to say Braun Breaker is going to retain. I think you're going to have him hold that title just a little bit longer and stuff like that. But I think it's going to be a good match nonetheless. I think this has the potential to be one of the best matches of the night, in my personal opinion. On to the next match, which we'll be talking about, is for the World Heavyweight Championship. We have Gunther versus Damian Priest. Now, I think this match is really going to be good. You go back to their SummerSlam match, was really good, by the way. And I see we're probably going to get a parallel to that somewhat. I can see a possibility of a Judgment Day possibly screwing him over, because they've been kind of dropping his name a lot in promos and backstage segments in recent weeks. So I could see them trying to do that once again. But I think Gunther's retaining. I really do. I think I would love to see Damian Priest get another shot and become world champion again. But I think he'll probably hold that title at some point in the next 2 years or so. He'll probably get another title run of some sort. Honestly, if you wanted to, since there's one title that he hasn't held in his career yet, and that's the IC title. You could put him in that IC title division, because we know he can work, and I think it'll be very beneficial because they're having another big name on the IC title division. So I could see them possibly doing that, maybe in the lead up to Mania, possibly. We'll see how that goes. But I do think Gunther is going to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. On to the next match, which is the main event, the men's War Games match. We have the OG Bloodline, quote unquote, somewhat, almost the OG Bloodline. We have Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and CM Punk. CM Punk returned on this week's a recent episode of SmackDown, with Paul Heyman as well coming back as well, which is a cool sight to see. I really think this match is going to be good. And on the other side, we have the new bloodline of Solo Sikoa. We have Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Bronson Reed. Now, when Bronson Reed was added, right, I was under the impression that possibly we were going to get Seth Rollins, because he has been feuding with Bronson Reed very, very frequently lately. And I was very kind of, I wouldn't say shocking, but I kind of knew that they were probably going to have CM Punk be the fifth man, because it made more sense than having Seth Rollins be the fifth man, because Seth Rollins made it very clear he doesn't mind teaming up with Sammy and the Usos, but he can't stand Roman Reigns. And I feel like that would have just been a big clash right there waiting to happen. That would have just been a car wreck waiting to happen, in my personal opinion. But who is going to win? This is very, very tricky because similar to the women's match, there are different factors that can play um, in both guys' favors, right? If you're looking at the OG bloodline, right? If they probably could win just for the simple fact that the bad bloodline did win a crown jewel when it was Roman and the Usos, so you would want to probably get the babyface team a win here. But we also have to understand, where does Paul Heyman really ally with all this, right? Where does his allegiance really lie with all this? Is he really on Team Roman, or is he really playing both sides and ends up turning on Roman to further that story where he is losing everything, and then he ends up joining Solo? But then you also got to worry about, will Seth Rollins play a factor? Will Seth Rollins show up? Will he go after CM Punk for potentially taking the spot, because he probably could have considered putting his side of differences to Roman Reigns for one night to get his pound of flesh on Bronson Reed, and he might feel some type of way that CM Punk beat him to it and took his opportunity. And we know those two are going to clash at some point. We know those two are bound to clash. We know those two are bound to have a match and feud, probably in the lead up to WrestleMania. So I think this could be a first way to set up that. And on top of that, we also got to worry about, will the final boss, The Rock, show up? Will he show up? Will he help the good bloodline, or will he help the bad bloodline? Could we find out that he's been the one pulling the strings with this whole new version of the bloodline with Solo in recent months? And I feel like we're probably going to. I think what's going to happen is we're going to see possibly the good bloodline win, but similar to how they did last year when it looked like the show's going to go off air. The Rock shows up, he gets in the cage, and he turns on Roman, and you have the final visual before Survivor Series closes of The Rock in the middle with everybody else around him. That's how I think that's play out. So I think the good bloodline, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, the Usos, and Sammy will win the match, but I think they'll still be on the losing end of everything once The Rock shows up at the end of the show. But those are my predictions for Survivor Series this Saturday. Comment down below. Let me know your predictions as well. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this Saturday's card. What are you looking forward to? Which match are you looking forward to? What is your overall excitement level for Survivor Series? I would love to hear what you guys say in the comment section down below. Road to 350 subscribers. We're getting close to that milestone. I know we can hit it. Let's try to hit it by Survivor Series. Super kick that like button helps my channel gets pushed across the platform so more people can see what I'm doing over here on YouTube. Superman Punch, the post notification bell, so every time I post a new video, whether it's a reaction video, rant video, live stream, any type of video, you could be a little bit things when I do drop a video, and spear that subscribe button. It takes 3 seconds out of your day to do those 3 things for me. Helps on the progression of my channel as well. But with that being said, hope everybody has a great day, a great week, and I'll see you guys in the next video.